Hey there, Frugal fam. Welcome to episode, I think, 4 of Tweets by Kevin. Um, no, lots of news about Texas and, what they're doing down there. Um, I decided to make a tweet about why is Iowa better than Texas? Now, one that did not make it on the list is Iowa is surrounded by five, six states. So South Dakota, Nebraska, Missouri, Illinois, Wisconsin, and Minnesota. So 6 states. I was surrounded by 6 states. And, okay, so let's start off there. Number one, my state is better than Texas by having sports. They have the NFL, the Major League Baseball, and all that, but they only have it in two cities. You got Dallas and Houston, right? But for Iowa, we have Kansas City, we have Minneapolis, we have Green Bay, we have um, Chicago Bears, Bulls, and they got two baseball teams in Chicago. Come on, that's like quadruple better. And then there's one St. Louis. I know St. Louis is kind of like, but we got St. Louis, and we have lots of cities that have minor league baseball, and we have arena football, and we have uh, soccer, and we have all kinds of sports here. So if you love sports, Iowa's better than Texas, right? And hunting, fishing, and all that good stuff. Number two is cities. Oh yeah, 5 cities. Right. Okay, we have an east and west coast. That's right. We have the Mississippi. We have the Missouri. We have an east and west coast. So if you want to boat in the Mississippi all the way down, you can go there. If you want to boat in the Missouri River and go all the way down, we have lots of lakes and ponds and all that stuff, including winter sports. That's another one on the. Number three is renewable energy that won't freeze. Because we can have solar and we can have wind turbines. We have a lot of wind turbines in Iowa, tons of wind turbines. If you drive down the interstate on 80 or 35, um, you you can park in one spot and shut your lights off and just watch all the flashing red lights. It's really kind of cool. Flashing red lights that flash on and off at the same time. And sometimes they'll start like doing a wave. And, it's just pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. But ours don't freeze because we have a winter. And I'll get to that in a minute. Number four. Oh, we have hills. We have hills. We have flat areas. We have hills. We have rock, which Texas has rock, but we also have hills. So you could build your house on a hill or, you know, high up, you know, all that good stuff. You have hills. You can drive up and down, up and down. It's really kind of nice. You don't miss hills until you've been in America and really seen flat. Yeah. And then once you're out in Iowa and you're like, oh, we got hills, but we don't have mountains. We don't have mountains. which mountains is kind of, but we do have hills that we ski down. So that's another winter sport thing. We can ski, just like in Aspen, Colorado, without dying. You can ski. And then we have lifts that lift up and ski back down. Lift up, ski back down. It's cool stuff. So, number 5 is 2A rights. We actually have 2A rights. Every county has to, well, currently, because in a matter of 2 months, everything's going to change. That's why we're ahead of Texas, because we already passed ours. We're going to change it so you don't have to get a permit to purchase. You don't have to get a permit to conceal carry. But right now, if you go take a class, which is like $70, take a class, like 4 hours, depending on who the instructor is. Sometimes it's a half an hour. It's just point out logical stuff, and here you go. Here's your slip. You take that slip to your county, to your sheriff's office. You hand them that slip, fill out the form. They do the FBI background check, and they do all the background stuff. And a week later, you come back in. Here you go. They take a picture, put it on a card. That card goes into the database, and there you go. You're legal to carry wherever you want. Whereas Texas, you have counties that don't let you do that. They don't want you to do that right now. You can open, but you can't open a handgun. You can open a rifle. You can get a permit to carry, but there's some areas where it's, a lot more, you have to go through a lot more hoops. Okay, number 6, cheaper housing. With all the California A's running to Texas, housing prices have gone through the roof. I mean, you got people buying houses sight unseen over, just over the phone, like, hey, we want to buy your house. I was like, I'm living in my house. Yeah, well, we want to pay you X amount of dollars for your house. When can you move? Well, that's a really good offer. Okay. They take the offer. They go out house hunting. They find out they can't find a house. So they're kind of stuck. You can go rent an apartment. Yeah. So they're literally pushing people out of houses with extremely high offers. We're talking 1 mil plus, just to get the person out of the house so some California A can move into that house. And the Texan is kind of, hopefully they can find a house, another area to move to. Just saying. Cheaper housing. You ever hear of Texas Nice? This is number 7. You ever hear of Texas Nice? No, it's always, it's bigger in Texas, it's better in Texas, it's better in Texas, it's awesome in Texas. But you hear people, oh, they're really good people. But have you ever heard the slogan, Texas Nice? See, Iowa has Iowa Nice. There's a gentleman here that went around and just randomly talked to people and how caring and giving and super awesome people are. That, if you needed a place to stay, they take you in, they get you on your feet, and get you out the door. It's Iowa Nice. We allow people to cut us on the interstate. Sometimes, depending on what the license plate says in front of them. So, Iowa Nice, it's a real thing. If you're ever shot on the side of the road, somebody will stop. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. I know from experience. It's another story for another time. Um, Number 10, wildlife. We don't have wildlife that will kill you and eat you. Yeah. They have alligators in Texas. Did you know that? They have alligators. Now, I never wondered why in the hell they never put alligators on the Rio Grande, but that's another topic for another day. But they have alligators, rattlesnakes, water moccasins, all those things that will bite you, kill you, possibly eat you. Yeah, we don't have that. The most dangerous animal that we have here in Iowa, they're like little mountain lion cats. We've seen a bear once. Yeah, it ran for its life. It looked up and went, oh, no, ran for its life. Um, but yeah, we don't. When you step out of your house, you don't have to look down at your feet to make sure you're not going to walk on a rattlesnake. Gardener snake, maybe, but they don't they don't kill you. Bull snake, we have bull snakes, and they'll bite you and they'll draw blood, but they're not poisonous. Yeah, they look like rattlesnakes, but they're bull snakes. At least I think they look like rattlesnakes because I freaking hate snakes. Um, Tornado. Okay, this is a funny one. Okay, hold on a minute. Tornado plus basement equals no big deal. Because Iowa, we have basements. In Texas, they just scrape the ground. They scrape the ground and build a house on top of it. I mean, you have to get like, you have to like, you have to like drill down into rock and dig out and then, make a basement. And it costs so much more because they want these big mansions, but they don't have any basements. So when a tornado, an F5 rolls through there, it just clears it all off and everybody dies. You know, but as you've seen on my previous channel and in the news, Iowa gets tornadoes, but nobody dies because we have basements and you know no big deal. Okay, so that's number 11. I think that's it. Yeah, that's the rest of the tweet. So like, share, subscribe, be super awesome. Iowa nice is real. Also, one other thing, our government meets every year. So if there's a real emergency crisis, they will fix it immediately. Versus Texas, they meet every other year. So if there's something that's kind of, they'll have an emergency session, but who knows if it will go through. So, um, population, that's another one why Iowa is better than Texas, because our population is like literally the size of Galveston. We have like 1.3 million people in Iowa. That's, the when I grew up, the city of Des Moines only had 220,000 people in it, and now it's up to like 300,000. And our suburbs are awesome. People live, everything's like a half an hour drive from anything, you know, and even if you like pick out an area that's like in the middle of nowhere, you'll find a nice town within 25 minutes of that area. It's not a long, I've heard of like people that drive 2 hours to town. That's crazy. 2 hours? Man, I can leave the state in 2 hours. 2 hours either direction. I'm out. I'm gone. You know. Also, nuclear weapons. We only have to worry about 3 cities that are outside of Iowa because they can't even find Des Moines on a map. And they're like, why in the hell would you use a nuke on Des Moines? It's useless. What's the point? What's the point of nuking Des Moines? There isn't one. Because everybody has basements. You're going to survive it. And who cares? But Omaha? Yeah. Kansas City? Yeah. Chicago? Yeah. Minneapolis is kind of like in the same, it's like, who really gives a crap? They're going to freeze to death in the winter anyway. That's another thing. It doesn't get as cold as Minneapolis as it does in Iowa. Or reverse that. It gets colder in Minneapolis than it does in Des Moines. See, we have this weird phenomenon where it hits the snow line is like Mason City, Mason City, Fort Dodge area. It's a little line there, and that's where we call that the butthole of Iowa because if you go up there, you're gonna freeze your butthole. But that yeah, you're gonna freeze your butthole. And yeah, if you have any questions, shoot me a comment. Be safe, have fun.